I must say that from the onset that I am worried. I'm worried that PF is in coma, and I doubt it will come out. It will come back. I really doubt PF will come back. I really doubt, and I'll give you my reasons in this discussion. It's a mess. It's really a mess. PF is in coma. PF, I doubt PF will come back. I can assure you. From the way I see it, I doubt PF will come back. I really doubt PF will come back. I doubt PF will come back. And I sympathize with a lot of people that that love PF, including myself. I love PF. Trust me, I love PF. I never joined them formally, but I have been with PF from inception. I have been with PF from inception. If at all I'd decided to join politics area, I would have been one of the first members in PF. But that is all gone. At the moment, PF ireshikira. It is just there, just because it is a former ruling party. It has members of parliament. But really, other than the fact that PF was once a ruling party, other than the fact that PF still has members of parliament, other than that, PF is dying, and it's dying not because it got sick and then whatever. It has been attacked. PF has been attacked. It's like an animal or a lion, that attacks a buffalo, and then it catches on the neck, and the animal is failing to move, and it is losing the strength. That is how PF is. Of course, there are certain things that they should have done after losing power. And the biggest culprit, I've been saying this, I will not move, is Valungu. I wish Valungu had acted properly. I wish Valungu had acted properly after losing power. What has brought PF to where it is now is the selfishness, is the selfishness of the leaders of PF. They don't allow me ever. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you as it is. The selfishness, the selfishness of leaders in PF, of everyone wanting to be president, including Walungu, who was once a president. Everyone wanting to be president, including Walungu, who was once president, they held on to PF wanting to be president. Efirabe bati bamukolwenga bafulata bucha bwangu, bamukolwenga bafulata bucha bwangu, bamukolwe bali fula mu PF, such that the day to have a convention could not come. Na pano turelanda, the issue of convention is nowhere. What would have saved PF, what would have really gone with a rebranding, was the change of leadership. They did well. After they lost the elections, they came up with that so-called at post-mortem. They hired an expert. They had an expert, or like should I say, they had experts who delve into, dissecting what made PF lose power. And I have not read the report, but I've heard that report came out strongly to condemn the leadership of PF, including Valungu. I remember very well, I had an interaction with some of the people that were there when that post-mortem was being presented. But PF, I'm sure you agree with me. You remember what your post-mortem report said. Your post-mortem report really pointed out that the leadership of PF was very weak. The leadership of PF was intolerant. the leadership of PF was selfish. These things came out in your post-mortem report. But I wonder why you hired those experts to do a post-mortem, and yet you could not follow the issues that came out of that post-mortem, or the recommendations that came out of that post-mortem. The only thing that you did was to have some people may actually not know, but Davis Mwila resignation, now Mkupa resignation, it was as a result of that post-mortem. It was as a result of the post-mortem. It is part of the recommendations that came out of that post-mortem. Even Balungu Bene coming out, it was as a result of coming out of that post-mortem. Now, Davis Mwila, who I commend, because he left. He resigned, that's it. But Vamkupa, he also resigned. And that's how Davis Chama was appointed as a new chairman. But Edgar Lungu pretended to have resigned, but he held on to PF. But Edgar Lungu pretended to have had resigned, but he held on to PF. He didn't resign. And this is where the problem starts. He held on to PF. Then you came with this issue to say, no, let's see, choose nominations. Let's choose a new leader. And people paid nomination fees and so on and so forth. And among the people that paid in that nomination, each one of them wanted to be president. Each one of them, you saw an opportunity. Bonse wale foko wa president. Bakambwiri wale foko wa president. Ba GBM wale foko wa president. Chitaruchi Rufia wale foko wa president. Including Given Wind. I wanted to be president. Who else? Emmanuel Mwamba, Brian Mundubire, Mao Sampa. They wanted to be presidents. A number of people wanted to be presidents. Nabamumbi, by the way, Nabamumbi wanted to be president. Gary Grayford Monde wanted to be president. A number of them wanted to be presidents, including at the new whip. The new whip. This member of parliament from Mufrila, Mumba, he also wanted to be president. So there were too many people that wanted to be presidents. And Edgar Lungu also held on to that. Yes, like somebody was saying that, no, but you said Balungu has said he doesn't want to be whatever. Yes, me, I was following what Balungu was telling me. That's what I was following. When he told me I'm not interested, I came here, I told you he's not interested. When the status quo changed, I came here and changed the status quo. Now, the confusion came in whereby, some of those candidates, they decided that when some of those who saw that, I don't stand a chance of becoming president for PF, they now changed. If I can't have it, it's better Balungu by Ikatiride. You see? That is where the problem came in. Those who were weak among the presidential candidates, those who saw that Mundubire is doing good, because among the candidates, Mundubire was highly sought. Among all of them, Mundubire was sought. If PF had gone for that convention, Mundubire was going to win that election. But unfortunately, among the candidates, you became jealousy, you became selfish, and even Balungu Navena, he became selfish. And you couldn't allow Mundubire to become president. According to me, you were selfish. You didn't want to give it to Mundubire. You didn't want. Because I'm just speaking. Whether whatever you're going to say, whatever, after all, nafyo naikapa. So kumye bafe as it is, kumye bafe as it is. You couldn't give Mundubi the presidency. You couldn't give Mundubi the presidency. Some of you became selfish that if it can't be me, then I would rather Edgar Lungu holds it. Valungu nabo, he became also selfish. He didn't want to give it out. He didn't want to give it out. And that is where the problem, that is where the problem started. The problem started because everyone in PF wanted to hold on to presidency. Everyone in PF wanted to hold on to presidency. That is where the problem started. And this problem is not only peculiar to this time around. This is also what happened when Sata died. When Sata died, it is the same thing. When Sata died, it's the same thing. So many people wanted to become president. And by Edgar Lungu, let's face it, me, I was there at Mulungushi. Nama pictures na likwata. By Edgar Lungu, using Avena Weeding Sander. Especially Weeding Sander. Using Weeding Sander and his, whatever, he emerged the president. Declared by late Tutu Ngulube. I was there when people were lifting hands. I was there at the Mulungushi Rock. Whilst Guy Scott, now Sylvia Masevu, they were trying to organize their own convention. You remember very well. But Edgar Lungu did exactly what Mao Sampa did this time around. Did exactly the same thing. What Mao Sampa did is exactly what happened during that time. But Guy Scott, as acting president, now Sylvia Masevo, they were busy trying to organize, a convention. And unfortunately, they were beaten by Willingsand and his group, because Willingsand was very good, in coming up with these machinations. He organized cadres proper. They were there. And that is how Edgar Lungu was voted in. People came to the convention. Who brought those people to the convention? How did those people come from the convention? Did we have, if I can challenge anyone, because some of you might be talking, did we have the electoral college at Mulungushi? Did we have the electoral college? Where did those people come from? Those who were at Mulungushi, where did they come from? A number of them were just brought there. Of course, at least they were PF members, other than Iyakwa Mao Sampa, because Mao Sampa, he used people who are not even PF members. But those were PF members, but a lot of them were not part of the electoral college. A lot of them were not part of the electoral college. Even me, I was there, and I can even say that if it is voting, I also would have lifted my hand. It was Tablalaza. It was Iminganato. And that is how Valungu got that one. Because you were in power. Because you were in power. Now, fast forward, this time around, Mao Sampa did whatever he did. When Mao did what he did, PF would have been, if PF were very careful, they would have navigated Mao Sampa's coup d'etat. They would have navigated it nicely. But they used emotions. And now they are in a deeper mess. The PF have been telling you to say, don't use emotions. Sit down, strategize. What is it that you are going to do? At the moment, you are using so much emotions, and you have failed to counter Mao Sampa. Since the coup d'etat happened, you have failed to counter Mao. You have failed. What have you done to counter him? You rushed to court. That was an emotional, an impulsive reaction. When you ran to court, you actually legitimized Mao Sampa. PF legitimized Mao Sampa by rushing to court, because whatever they did, there was nothing PF about it. Whatever they did, there was nothing PF about it. There was nothing PF about it. But what did you do? Imova PF, real PF. You went and filed an injunction. Why were you filing an injunction? For what? Why were you filing an injunction? Because that was not a PF event. But you went and filed an injunction. That injunction legitimized Mao's, because you recognized him. That yes, he's our member and he wants to act on our behalf, but we refuse. That's what you did. That's what you did. If you had just ignored Mao's, the situation would have been different. The situation would have been different. But you legitimized Mao's by taking him to court. You legitimized Mao Sampa by taking him to court. You shouldn't have taken Mao Sampa to court, because if you had not taken Mao Sampa to court, you wouldn't have been part of it. You wouldn't have been part of it. But you brought yourselves into Mao Sampa's hands by suing him, using emotions. Using emotions. You used emotions. You shouldn't have taken Mao Sampa to court. You would have left it. Because the moment you took Mao Sampa to court, you locked yourself up. You have locked yourself up. You shouldn't have touched Mao Sampa. And this is what I've been telling you to say. Don't use emotions. That was the first emotion that you used to say, oh, Mao Sampa, you go and throw in an injunction. Why were you throwing in an injunction when there was nothing PF about it? Why? Why were you suing Mao's? For what? Why were you suing Mao's? Mao's had his event. Whatever event that was, it could have been Ichirangamuliro, it could have been anything. Whatever it is, you would have called it whatever it is, but not PF event. You would have simply maintained that is not a PF event. You would have maintained that. Even these letters, whatever letters that you would have been writing, you would have simply been saying, we don't know that event. We don't know. We don't know that event. But you rushed to go to court. You used the emotions. You legitimized the Mao's. You recognized that event to say it is a PF event. And now the court has to decide whether that PF event had the blessings of the leadership, whether it followed the constitution. Whether it followed the constitution. But there was nothing there before that. There was nothing. You made a mistake to go into court. Now you are in court. You are locked in court. You are locked in court. And as you are locked in court now, with your injunction thrown out, because when you put an injunction, you shouldn't act. And when the injunction was thrown out, it means that Mao Sampa was now allowed to act as he pleased. That's what it means. You are in court and the court has said, no, he can act as he pleased. But who gave him those powers? Nimwewo mweka mwa mperama powers. Nimwewo mweka mwa mperama powers by saying, no, don't allow him to act in this manner, in this manner, in this manner. And then the court goes, you're quarreling. We don't know. No, we are not going, we want to hear both of you. And now, so you gave him the powers. You gave him the powers. You can't remove yourself. You are locked up in this litigation. You are locked up in it. So that was for me the first mistake. The second mistake is the coming in of Edgar Lungu. By Edgar Lungu, me have been saying from a long time, Lungu, please come out. I used to say it many times. I used to say it, come out, come out. And I said this, I said it here, I said it to him. I was talking privately, but when I saw that, things are not moving. When I saw that Lungu didn't have the courage, number one, he didn't have the courage to come out. Then number two, he has been heavy-handed on releasing resources. You can call me whatever you want. You can say whatever it is. Politics requires money. And the issues like, you know, at Alewelelapo needed a lot of money. It needs money. And at that point, it needed money. It needed money. It couldn't have sustained itself. It needed financial input. But Walungu could not put in that financial input. It couldn't put that financial input. So from my point of view, it's not, I looked at it, I mean, the man doesn't have the courage. The man is not sponsoring it. It can't run. It can't run. And that's how I withdrew myself. But I told him, come out. Even when I withdrew, I said, come out. Why I was saying come out? Because I saw that Chali Pwalala, leadership ya presidents, nali monat na ipwalala. I saw that. And things can't move. And that's why I was saying, come out, come out, come out. Balungu could not come out. Until Mao Sampa came and took it out. Now when Mao Sampa took it out, then Balungu wale fuma. Meanwhile, the case is already locked. What could Balungu do? What could Balungu do? Because by the time Balungu, he was coming in, the horse had already bolted. The horse had already bolted. So, even if he was coming in, what is he going to do? What could Balungu do when the issue was already locked up? Was already locked up in litigations. What could he do? Even if he came in to say, no, I've come back. Yes, like the way he did. I've come back and whatever. The issue is locked up in court. But if they had not gone to court, if you follow me very well, if they had not gone to court, the Balungu coming out would have made sense. Because they would have continued to operating. They would have continued to operating. But they made a mistake to go Mukoro. So even Balungu coming out, it's locked up. Balungu tapalofo bengachita. Because it is locked up in court. Yes, Kupakra, as we have been told, Kupakra, the names are still there and everything, but they can't do anything. They can't operate because the matter is now locked up in court. And as it is, Mao's has no restriction from acting as PF president. He doesn't have any restriction. He doesn't have. So where does it leave the other PF? They are left hanging in the balance.